Yo, it's Carcat. After the last video where I played some games in Plat and Diamond and talked through my thought process, I got a number of comments asking me to do the same thing for GM and Celestial. At first, I didn't have any immediate plans to because getting out of GM and ranking up in Celestial is where things get a bit more complex. You kind of have to get into what are your specific bad habits rather than the sweeping generalizations that apply to everyone in lower ranks. But I played a game recently that I thought would be a great fit for this. So today we're going to do something I haven't done in a really long time, VOD review myself. So sit back, relax, let's get into it. Now, this match was on Burn in T'Challa, which as many of you may know, I think is the worst Black Panther map, and it actually features something that I'm a little sad about. I swap off Black Panther in round 3. In the last couple weeks, I've realized that you do hit a pretty hard wall right around middle of Celestial, where you just can't one-trick Black Panther anymore. And this game is a perfect example of that. You'll see they swap to hard counters, and I don't have a choice. So we'll see how it plays out. We'll see what Black Panther looks like in Celestial, and how I approach things in what is sort of an average game. I don't have a standout performance. There's no throwers on either team. This is just what I would consider a typical game. So we start off pushing this left side. I do like to drop down onto this kind of off-angle flank, but playing around this map is really, really tricky. It's his worst map for a reason, right? There aren't really any easy high ground off-angles you can take without taking a really long time to flank around. So what I have been doing, honestly, is playing point more recently. I kind of just use the walls in the center, take point, play with my team, and then see how I can navigate around after. We get some nice spears, we get some dash resets. Not going too crazy, I miss a dash, disengage, but my team is able to take enough space. I apply some DPS, my Salak's applying some DPS. We're able to take first cap. Here I get a mark on Strange. I'm watching my spear cooldown and waiting to see if I can use the Strange to reposition into the backline and get some work done. Get a big spear, nice quick dashes, quick 3 kills, and then a 4th. And we take the first big fight with some solid mechanics. And I think we go over here and just clean up this last cloak. Picked up a quick 5 kills, added our team a nice 30% on the point. But you can see how patiently I was waiting to find the right engage. And then as soon as the teams collapse on each other, I'm using the Strange, dashing through, accessing the backline, and then trying to maximize my dash resets on every single spear. So here I hear my Psylocke ulting, and I go to kind of support her engage. Miss a dash here, and I pop around and ults. Fortunately with the dash and the cloak, but we pick up the kill, and then trade. Honestly, trading for a cloak, I don't hate. My team is able to come in and clean up a couple more kills. Again, I'm solo queue here, my team is not really calming, but I'm watching my DPS to see what they do. If I see my Psylocke go in and ult, I know that solo, she's probably not going to get that many kills on her own, but I bet she'll get people low, and then I can come in and help be the cleanup crew. So here, now that we've captured the point, I do have the space to take this high ground off angle, but I get marked by the Invis woman, and then I get matched by Star-Lord. This is not a 1v1 that I want to take. I'm instantly backing off and repositioning. They drop their Invis woman ult, so I know I'm not going to get any damage off on that. I'm just going to back off and wait for my moment. Once again, Star-Lord ulting. That's a really, really scary ult. I'm not trying to play into that. Namor's marking me on the side, and I do just drop here. Even though I walked into Invis woman ult, it just wasn't enough. You can see actually Namor hits a really nice shot. I go invis and he predicts the trajectory of my falling, so good on him. Otherwise I probably would have survived there. So we're coming back to point, and my team, they end up just kind of taking a fight on their own. They don't need me. I help out with the last Namor. And we get those kills. So first point, super solid. I had some good plays. My team was able to support my pressure, and I was able to support the pressure of my Psylocke. All in all, good stuff. A lot of times people ask me, like, what's the difference between a GM Panther and a Celestial Panther? Or even a Celestial 3 and an Eternity Panther? The main difference is no longer really mechanical. It's not down to the fundamentals. Usually someone who's made it to GM 1, Celestial 3 on Black Panther, they understand the fundamentals of the character, they know the basics of diving, all that stuff. The main difference between an Eternity Panther and a Celestial 3 Panther is really just discipline. Most Panthers, if you give them a freeze frame of potential engage they could take, they could tell you if it will be good or bad based on the game state they're given. But unfortunately, in the moment, it's really hard to make those decisions. So the main difference between a high rank and a mid-high rank Panther is making better decisions more often. Being able to quickly identify, this is a good engage, I'm going to take it. This is a bad engage, I'm going to bail. So here, now we get to see how the enemy team adapted to Panther Psylocke. And what they ended up doing is they went Penny Parker, Luna Namor. Now, if we back up a bit, now that I know they're on Penny and Namor, I know that I have to play this very, very differently if I'm going to stay Panther, right? I'm going to take these wide flanks, look for anyone I can find isolated from Penny's webs, and so I find the Namor. It's not my favorite target, but I take the duel anyways, because I know if I can bait out this bubble, that I can get the kill. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to secure it just then, but because Namor is alone on high ground, he's got a suppressive fire on my team, I know that that's a pretty solid target, and I'm not just going to jump in on the point and die to Penny mines. But you'll see, like, this is going to get really, really hard really fast because Black Panther just doesn't have the tools to deal with these counters. Here we're going to take another wide flank. I'm pinging the nest for my teammates. I let them know where it is. Try to use the Penny for some movement, get my bearings on any potential targets I can go on, and there's no one. Luna's ulting. Namor's got his turret set up. What do? I try to go on this Namor, miss my spinning kick. This could potentially be a kill. I do pick up the kill, but at this point, I just dash into mines. Like that's a perfect example of a lack of discipline. I'm getting antsy. I'm not waiting to read the fight and figure out where I should go next. I just dash into point to try to get there, and ended up dying to Penny mines, even though my Luna was ulting. I could have just dashed to my Luna or even walked to my Luna. I would have been fine. But that perfectly illustrates the difference between an Eternity Panther and a C3 Panther is they do mistakes like that more often. So here, we're just approaching point. I'm trying to look for something. I do some quick dashes, get some shield, but really not getting much going. Namor picks up a kill, and now they're cloak ulting. Like, seriously, there's just nothing I can do here. If we go back and just look at the state of the fight as they've just cloak ulted, what are my options here? Here I am. I can go straight to point and attack this big group here and cloak ult. That's obviously a terrible idea. I could flank wide around left or right. Maybe go for this Star-Lord. That's a terrible 1v1. So what's my only option? I guess I can go try to displace this Namor, which is also not a great duel because he's got his bubble. He's got his Luna team up set up. Of course, my other option is just to back off and wait for all this to end. But as we'll see in a second, my team just dies. We're already down our support. There goes Luna. There goes Penny. Try to take this duel. Almost get the Namor again, but he gets healed up. I do get the Namor. Okay, I'm crazy. Toss out an ult, and so I've also gotten the question, why can't you one-trick Panther up through Celestial and up to Eternity? This is why. Any good team in Celestial, or God forbid Eternity, is just going to do this, and it's going to be completely unplayable. So, unfortunately, we swapped to the Star-Lord. I got a decent amount of flack, potentially deserved, for my video where I said this is why I never swap off Black Panther. I'm sad, but also a little bit happy to report that that is no longer true. I have a genuine hero pool now. I think Panther Star-Lord is such a strong hero pool to have as a DPS player. And then I also have a Thor that I can pull out and get a lot of value with. So highly recommend learning other characters once you get up to a high enough rank where Black Panther stops working. So we're on the Star-Lord. This is a great pick because it handles a lot of matchups that are weak for Panther, including Penny. Star-Lord is not just good at flanking and going for supports. He will melt tanks, Penny included. So now I can very safely handle the nest from range. I can pressure the supports in the backline, and I can pressure the tanks in the front line. So here, Namor goes for a nice flank 1v1, and I'm just barely able to make it out alive. Very scary duel for me to take, and now that he's used his bubble, I can go up and finish up the kill. Nice and easy. Now, all I have to do is fight with my team on point, pick up some more kills, first cap, and we're looking good. Here's just free damage, free ult charge, clean up all the kills. I love Star-Lord as a Panther alternative because he's able to adapt his gameplay to more scenarios. Panther is very one-track minded. Go for the supports, go for the squishies, always dive. Star-Lord, you can really choose between a few different game plans. So here I can pick between, dueling the Strange, getting some damage out, or if I wanted to, I can flank around. Now, I'm not going to do either of those because I get ulted by their Star-Lord. Fair enough. And we're going to lose this fight. No worries, we got a nice 60%. And all we have to do is kind of stay the course. Keep applying the pressure we've been applying. We don't need to overplay here, just capitalize on the things that my team is trying to accomplish. Here we take a flank. I got my ult. Star-Lord ult, you can use a couple different ways. You can use it to pop support ults, or you can use it after support ult's been popped and just get a bunch of free kills. I usually like to do the latter. Here, I'm really trying to kill Penny Nest. I know that it's high value to destroy it. Let's start applying some pressure to the supports. My team seems to be holding very well here with Luna ult. Now we pop their cloak ult. And similar to Panther here, they've got their cloak ult. I'm not going to out damage this, so I'm kind of just, applying soft pressure to their backline. Now that it's over, we can go in, pop an E, and get a bunch of kills with our thing. grab the point, clean up these kills. Maybe, or we just pop the E and get out. What we're really looking for is to see if we can get a pick on the Luna, or pressure her to ult so that we can ult afterwards. There, I didn't really want to hold the front line there, so I repositioned to the high ground. Meanwhile, their Starlight's ulting. But we've got Invisible Man out on the field. Take a big hit of damage, so we back off to get a health back, and my team cleans up. And I secure the kill on the Star-Lord. Honestly, my team went crazy that fight, and I didn't have to do too much. You can see how swapping off of Panther to Star-Lord, it's not like I was going crazy and farming clips. I was just able to provide much more value, apply much more pressure to both their tanks and their supports. And in general, we just adapted a lot better. We swapped off the Psylocke as well. And once you swap, Penny becomes a terrible pick. Namor becomes not that strong. They swap to Star-Lord. You're just able to do more. So we take a look at the stat line. Again, not a standout performance, but this is a great example of you don't have to overplay in your games to rank up. This game was an average game. And most of your games are going to be average games. Of course, some games you'll have throwers on your team. Some games you'll have cracked out player on your team and you'll win. But it's these games that if you can adapt and just provide a solid amount of value to your team, you'll win more often than not. So hope you guys found that helpful. If you like this format, let me know. I'm happy to do more. I love just getting into the nitty-gritty details. Pick up Star-Lord and Thor if you're a Panther player. They are great picks. And I'll see you guys in the next one.